Ladies and gentlemen, gather round as we dive into the intoxicating and tumultuous love life of the legendary Frank Sinatra. The chairman of the board was not just a master of music, his heart beat to the rhythm of romance, passion, and a fair share of scandal. Our story begins in the heart of Hoboken, New Jersey on December 12, 1915 when Francis Albert Sinatra was born. Frank was the only child of Italian immigrants. His father, Anthony Martin Sinatra, was a fireman and amateur boxer, while his mother, Natalie "Dolly" Garaventa, was a midwife. Dolly was a formidable figure in Frank's life, known for her strong will and business acumen. To supplement her midwifery pay, she ran an illegal abortion service, whilst also being involved in local politics as an activist. Young Frank idolized his mother, inheriting her determination and resilience. However, Dolly's high expectations and strong personality sometimes clashed with Frank's rebellious and sensitive nature. Despite these challenges, Dolly's unwavering belief in her son's talent provided him with the encouragement he needed to pursue his dreams. Frank's father, Marty, was a more reserved presence. Though he was supportive, Marty's influence on Frank was less pronounced compared to Dolly's. Growing up in Hoboken, Frank was exposed to the vibrant cultural melting pot of the city. He found solace and expression in music, often skipping school to listen to Bing Crosby and other popular singers of the time. This passion for music was Frank's escape from the sometimes harsh realities of his upbringing. He sang at local clubs and events, slowly building a reputation for his voice and charisma. Frank Sinatra's first significant romance was with Nancy Barbato, a girl-next-door type who captured his heart before fame. They met in the summer of 1934 in Long Branch, New Jersey. Frank, a skinny, ambitious teenager, was performing at a local beach club. Nancy was a local girl, charming and down-to-earth, with a warmth that immediately caught Frank's eye. Mutual friends introduced them, and their connection was instantaneous. Their relationship blossomed quickly, and Frank, despite his burgeoning musical aspirations, found comfort and stability in Nancy's presence. They shared dreams and struggles, with Nancy supporting Frank's early attempts to break into the music industry. They married on February 4, 1939, beginning a marriage that would see many highs and lows over the next decade. They went on to have 3 children together: Nancy, born in 1940, Frank Jr. in 1944, and Tina, in 1948. However, as Sinatra's fame skyrocketed, so did the temptations and distractions of a superstar lifestyle. By the late 1940s, Sinatra's career was in full swing, and his charm and charisma were undeniable. This was when he met Ava Gardner through Hollywood circles. She was a stunning beauty with a sultry presence, who was a rising star. Their paths first crossed in the early 1940s, but it wasn't until the late 1940s that their romance truly began to ignite. Their passionate affair was an open secret in Hollywood, a scandalous headline that added fuel to Sinatra's already fiery persona. Frank was deeply enamored with Ava, often describing her as the love of his life. Ava, though equally smitten, was wary of Frank's reputation and the potential for heartbreak. Their love affair was a whirlwind of romantic highs filled with passionate declarations and fiery arguments. Frank's marriage to Nancy Barbato was strained due to his rising fame and the resulting pressures. Ava, on the other hand, was recently divorced from her second husband, bandleader Artie Shaw, and was nursing the wounds from a series of tumultuous relationships. The intensity of their relationship led to his divorce from Nancy in 1951, and Frank and Ava married only a few months later, on November 7, 1951. But their union was anything but tranquil, with jealous outbursts, constant arguments, and infidelity on both sides. During her marriage to Sinatra, Gardner was also not immune to infidelity. Her relationship with Howard Hughes, in particular, continued to cause friction. Gardner was reportedly uncomfortable with Sinatra's mafia associations, which contributed to their frequent arguments and eventual divorce. Ultimately, the intense passion that brought Frank and Ava together also drove them apart. They separated in 1953 and divorced in 1957, but their bond remained strong. Even after their separation, they continued to care deeply for each other, maintaining a complicated but enduring friendship. Sinatra's love life didn't cool down after Ava. In the late 1950s, he was linked to several women, including actress Lauren Bacall. Frank Sinatra and Lauren Bacall first met through their mutual friend Humphrey Bogart, who was Bacall's husband. Sinatra and Bogart were part of the Rat Pack, a famous group of entertainers and friends that also included Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Peter Lawford, and Joey Bishop. The Rat Pack was known for its legendary performances and wild parties in Las Vegas and Hollywood. Bacall, a glamorous and talented actress, was married to Bogart from 1945 until his death in 1957. The two couples often socialized together, developing a close friendship. After Bogart's death, Sinatra provided emotional support to Bacall, and their friendship eventually blossomed into a romantic relationship. They were engaged at one point, but Sinatra called off the engagement, over the phone, fearing another turbulent relationship, and his ongoing struggles with his demons. In 1966, Sinatra took another plunge into matrimony with the young and glamorous Mia Farrow. Frank and Mia first met a couple of years earlier, introduced by mutual friends at a party in Hollywood. At the time, Mia was only 19 years old, while Frank was 48, creating a significant age difference that would become a central aspect of their relationship. Frank's romantic pursuit of Mia was persistent and passionate. He courted her with grand gestures, including flying her to his performances and showering her with lavish gifts. Mia, despite her initial hesitation due to their age gap, was swept off her feet by Frank's attention and the excitement of their whirlwind romance. They married on July 19, 1966, but the age difference and Sinatra's controlling nature created friction. However, their marriage faced numerous challenges from the start. Frank's controlling nature and Mia's burgeoning career ambitions often clashed. Frank wanted Mia to be a traditional wife, while Mia was eager to pursue her acting career independently. This tension came to a head when Mia accepted the lead role in Roman Polanski's film, Rosemary's Baby, in 1967, despite Frank's disapproval. Frank served Mia with divorce papers on the set of Rosemary's Baby in November 1967, signaling the end of their brief marriage. Inevitably, the marriage crumbled, and they divorced in 1968, though they remained friends. After Mia, Sinatra had a series of high-profile relationships. Some were rumored, others real. Rumors long swirled about an affair between Sinatra and the iconic actress Marilyn Monroe. Their paths crossed frequently in Hollywood's elite social circles, and their close friendship often sparked speculation. Frank Sinatra and Marilyn Monroe likely met in the early 1950s, as both were rising stars in Hollywood. They moved in the same elite social circles. Their relationship was marked by mutual admiration and a shared understanding of the pressures and challenges of fame. While there is much speculation about the nature of their relationship, with many rumors suggesting they had a romantic affair, concrete details are sparse. Some biographers and close friends have suggested that their relationship was more about companionship and support rather than a full-blown romantic affair. Marilyn's tragic death on August 5, 1962, deeply affected Frank. He mourned the loss of his friend and reportedly felt a sense of regret and helplessness for not being able to save her from her demons. Their relationship, whether romantic or platonic, was a poignant reminder of the fragility and isolation that often accompanied fame. Sinatra was also linked to the legendary singer and actress Judy Garland. Their relationship was characterized by mutual support and affection, though it never reached the same level of intensity as his affair with Ava Gardner. Sinatra and Angie Dickinson also had a long-standing affair that spanned several years, with her often speaking fondly of Sinatra, describing their relationship as one filled with respect and affection. Other ladies in Sinatra's love life included a high-profile affair with dancer and actress Juliette Prowse. Frank and Juliette dated for approximately 2 years, from 1959 to 1961. Their romance was intense and high-profile, capturing the attention of the media and fans alike. Frank was 43 years old, while Juliette was only 23, but the age difference did little to dampen their passion. They were frequently seen together at glamorous events and parties, and their relationship was a frequent topic in gossip columns. Their relationship was passionate, but it eventually ended due to the pressures of their respective careers. Their breakup was amicable but tinged with sadness. Juliette reportedly said that their relationship ended because Frank was not ready to commit to marriage again, having already gone through 2 divorces. Frank Sinatra and socialite Gloria Vanderbilt's relationship was one of the many intriguing and glamorous chapters in Sinatra's romantic life. Their connection, however, was more of a brief and fascinating encounter rather than a long-term relationship. Frank Sinatra and Gloria Vanderbilt met in the early 1950s, during a time when both were prominent figures in the social and entertainment circles of New York and Hollywood. Gloria, an heiress to the Vanderbilt fortune, was a renowned socialite, fashion designer, and actress. Their paths crossed at various high-profile events and parties where the glitterati of the time would gather. One of the main challenges in their relationship was Frank's tumultuous love life and his reputation for being a ladies' man. At the time, Frank was also involved with other women, which made it difficult for any single relationship to take precedence. Gloria, who had her own share of romantic entanglements and personal struggles, found it challenging to maintain a steady relationship with someone as unpredictable as Frank. Their relationship eventually fizzled out, primarily due to their conflicting schedules and the pressures of their respective careers. In 1976, Sinatra married Barbara Marx, the widow of Zeppo Marx. Their wedding on July 11, 1976, marked a period of relative stability in Sinatra's love life. Barbara was a sophisticated socialite who managed to tame some of Frank's wild ways. Frank was immediately taken by Barbara's elegance, poise, and beauty. Barbara, in turn, was drawn to Frank's charm, wit, and legendary status. At this point in his life, Frank had been through multiple tumultuous relationships and marriages, and he was looking for stability and companionship. Barbara offered a sense of calm and understanding that Frank had been missing. Throughout their marriage, Barbara played a crucial role in managing Frank's personal and professional life. She became a trusted confidant and advisor, helping him navigate the complexities of his career and public persona. Barbara was instrumental in organizing Frank's schedules, managing his finances, and even influencing his decisions about projects and performances. Barbara remained devoted to Frank until his death on May 14, 1998, with Barbara by his side through his later years. After Frank's passing, Barbara continued to honor his legacy, actively participating in charitable activities and maintaining the Sinatra name's prominence in the public eye. Throughout his life, Sinatra's romantic escapades were the stuff of legend. His charm and voice won him many admirers, but his relationships were often marred by his struggles with fidelity, jealousy, and the pressures of fame. From the humble beginnings with Nancy Barbato to the tumultuous days with Ava Gardner, the May-December romance with Mia Farrow, and finally finding some peace with Barbara Marx, Sinatra's love life was a roller coaster of passion, scandal, and heartache. In the end, Frank Sinatra's heart was as complex and compelling as his music, leaving behind a legacy of legendary loves and unforgettable songs.